Welcome to the Giants, guys. I'm John Fennelly. It's the 21st of May and also day one of Phase 3 of the Giants off-season workout program over at the Quest Diagnostics Training Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This morning, the Giants conducted the first of 10 scheduled organized team activities, OTAs, which will be held from now and through June 7th. For the next several weeks, we'll be bringing you updates directly from the Giants practice facility from our man Chris Bisignano of the Giant Insider. No live contact is permitted in Phase 3 drills. What the practices mainly consist of are 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and 11-on-11 drills. So let's go out to Chris in East Rutherford. Chris, how are you today? A beautiful day.
Yeah, it was, John. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. You were out there today, and the Giants had their first OTA, and they had almost everybody there, I guess, right?
Yeah, everybody was there except for Snacks Harrison. He was the only one that wasn't present.
Did anybody mention the fact that he wasn't there or why he wasn't there?
I came up with Sherman's presser. He just said he spoke to him, he knew, and he didn't want to get into it too much into that.
Because they are voluntary, and, you don't want to shake up the union. It is still a union shop, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so, they with the OTAs, with the new collective bargaining agreement, the way things are written up, coaches just know not to rattle anybody's cage, so to speak. So they just tolerate it, but, I think they put it in the back of their mind, this guy really dedicated.
There's no doubt that Sherman isn't happy about it, but like you said, it is a collective bargaining agreement, and there's not much you could say about it. You could see, not happy about it, but, he's not going to, rile up anything by getting into it, put it that way.
Yeah. Well, one guy isn't going to matter, and, he's never really in great shape anyway, so he's got all summer to get himself into shape. He's one of those plug-and-play guys. You just throw him out there,
Yeah, well, he has been at the facility. He has worked out. Sherman did say that today. He's been there.
So he's been in the building. He just hasn't been out.
He has been in the building, yeah, which was a surprise. I didn't know that. Sherman did point that out today, that he has been in the building at times.
Oh, okay, because I know he did a charity event the other day in New York City somewhere. So, he's around. So I'm just surprised that he's not out there, especially with all the new, the young defensive tackles that they picked up.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a little surprised too. Snacks is a great locker room guy, but I guess he has his reasons, John, and not going to get into it too much, but it is what it is.
I'm sure he'll come around.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be there next month. It's mandatory.
He's cashing a big check, man.
Yeah.
He got a nice big guaranteed bonus when he signed last year, so he's okay money-wise, but that's not the issue.
And I'm not, John, I'm not too worried about Snacks. So
no.
When the bell rings, he'll be there.
That's it. Let's talk about some of the other guys. Eric Flowers. I saw on Twitter that Nate Solder seemed to be taking him under his wing. Is that true?
Yes, it seems to be. After practice ended, Flowers was over with Nate Solder on the sideline. They seemed to be going over some hand drills, some little things here and there, talking a lot. But it's a good sign. Listen, you want an experienced veteran NFL champion like Nate Solder working with a young kid, and obviously, Flowers has had some issues in his time here, and about it at. I mean, to have Solder kind of take him under his wing, which it seems like he's doing, there's nothing but a bonus.
That's good, because that line is going to be all brand new this year, and they're going to have to get to know each other really fast if they're going to work, if it's going to work. Patrick Omame was, I see he was interviewed. He was on the podium today. Did he have anything interesting to say? And what kind of guy is he? I've never met him. Matter of fact, I don't even think I knew who he was until like a year ago.
Yeah,
he's been in the league a few years.
He comes across as a very serious football guy, Pretty impressed with him. He's a smart man. Talked a lot about how the line has to communicate with the new faces, and of course he's playing over on the right side this year. as is Flowers, so he got into about how important it is to be on the same page starting now in OTAs. And I was pretty impressed with him. He played pretty well for Jacksonville the last few years, John.
But they replaced him with Andrew Norwell, and that's why he didn't go. He wasn't signed back with Jacksonville. They got the guy the Giants. We thought the Giants wanted, right?
Yeah, I mean, when they have to, obviously Norwell was the number one priority. That didn't work out, but they brought Omame in. Obviously, with the
Solder,
big signing, Nick Solder.
Yeah. Let's talk about OBJ. I mean, everybody's focusing on him. He's being very quiet these days. There's no contract talk. There's no any kind of theatrics. He seems to just be going about his business, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of question about whether or not he would report because of the contract thing, and he's here. He's working hard. Taking Saquon Barkley under his wing.
They've been hanging, huh?
Yeah, listen, Odell, no matter what some people might feel about him, John, the kid is a hard worker.
Yes,
out there
I agree.
every second of practice, working on his game, helping other receivers, and now in this case helping Saquon, while he gets accurate. So, yeah, he's been quiet. He's going about his business. You would never think that there's contract drama around him. He's just, doing his thing.
Yeah, now that, they're upgrading their roster, and, he's not the only superstar around anymore. There's some other guys that can take the burden off of him. So,
you know what, John,
that's going to be very helpful to his maturity.
John, that's a great point. Saquon Barkley is taking a lot of the media spotlight off Odell. You would never think you'd say that, right? I would never think you would see that. But Saquon Barkley right now is the number one attraction on the Giants, not Odell Beckham.
Let's talk about Saquon Barkley. I mean, to your eye, first glances, what did you pick up?
I tell you what, John, the thing that has impressed me the most about Saquon is his hands. Receiving out of the backfield, his route running out of the backfield is so fine-tuned. Obviously, we all know what he could do with the ball. We know what he could do in the open field. He's got great feet. Looks like he has great vision at the line of scrimmage. But I tell you what, what's impressed me the most so far out of Barkley is his hands. Yeah, I haven't seen a ball hit the grass yet with him in the minicamp and in his first OTA. That has been the most impressive ball.
I think he's better as a receiver, I think, than as a scrimmage runner. I think
John,
he's better with the full head of steam and getting out in space rather than trying to find a hole through the line.
John, he is going to be a nightmare matchup for defenses coming out of that backfield.
Excellent.
You see him in practice, working on his real routes, and, Ogletree's having a hard time keeping up with him. He's just going to be a nightmare for defenses. They're going to have to roll safeties over, and it's going to be quite a sight to see. He's going to be a major weapon in the receiving game.
It's going to be a far cry from 2017 where the Giants had a retreating offense. They were backpedaling. They're going to have an attacking offense with this guy. And, people are looking forward to that. So let's talk about Eli. A lot of questions about Eli. Is he in decline? I don't think he's in decline. I just thought the whole team was in decline, and he was just pretty much stuck there with hardly a supporting cast, nobody around him. So now he's got some people around him. He's got to look a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, you know what, John? The last few years, his huddle clock, his pocket clock has been off. Why? Because he's been under constant siege, John.
Yeah.
When that pocket clock starts to go off a little bit, it throws off your whole game. Do I feel he's declining? No, I see him in practice. He's still got a fastball, John.
I know. He's got a good zip on the ball, sure.
He's got the fastball still. He's still got the zip. I see him on the deep. I see him on the post routes. I see him. He's still got the fastball. So, if you ask me, is his skills decline? You know what, John? Let him sit in the pocket this year. Let him have a few seconds. Let him get some reads first, secondary reads, and then we'll take it from there. You know what I mean? So if you're asking me, I would say no. I don't see much of a decline on the field.
What about the other two guys? Did you get to see them throw the ball at all?
Yeah, Davis Webb is so far ahead of Kyle Loretta right now.
You got a head start. You got a whole year head start.
Yeah, Webb is so much more polished right now. Loretta's just starting the process. But as far as physical skills, Webb has a much better arm than Loretta.
He's a bigger guy too.
He's a big Webb.
He's actually bigger than Eli.
He's bigger than Eli. Yes, you are correct. He's bigger than Eli, and he's throwing the ball all over the lot today, man. He was impressive today.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. I mean, you want to have what they call that good quarterback room with three good guys. And Eli, he's got to concede a little bit and try to help these guys out. He's got to understand there's a long view here for the Giants also. So he can't hog all the snaps.
John, listen, a lot of things were made out of last year and what happened, what Eli said, and his feelings, the whole deal. But listen, Eli, he teaches these kids. I see him. He's on the side with them. He's constantly watching film with them. Listen, I don't think that's a problem at all, John. I just don't think, obviously, Eli likes some of the things that happened last year. But you know what? This is 2018, and
yeah.
I don't feel
lines of communication are a lot clearer with this new regime than they were last year. That's for sure.
Yeah, John, listen, it's like night and day. Put it that way. It's like night and day. Shermer's a football coach. You know what I mean? He's a football coach.
Yeah, he's a seasoned guy. He's a pro, man. I don't know if he's as old as I am, but he's up there. I mean, when you reach this age, you're all business, and you know how to get right down to business too.
Yes. And
no
what,
BS.
Yeah, he's a couple years older. I think he's 54, Shermer, if I'm correct in that. But you could tell he's a very serious football coach, and I feel that's what this Giants team needed.
Yeah, I liked him from the first day he walked through the door. I mean, I thought he was great. He conducted himself with a lot of confidence, and I'll tell you what, he knows the game. He knows how to handle people. That's the thing. Like Dave Gettleman said, I want a CEO for a coach. Well, I think that's what they got here.
Oh, absolutely. He's a football guy. Listen, his uncle's been around forever. His uncle Fritz, and he comes from a football family. And
he was a Mike Holmgren guy, Fritz Shermer.
Absolutely, John. Fritz is a football guy. He's not just some coach out there, with a label as a coach. Fritz is a football guy, and Pat Shermer is the same way. He's a football guy. I feel the Giants are in good hands with him. Yeah,
I'm really happy with that. I was not happy with I know we had talked before, but I was not happy with the McAdoo situation. I thought he was a bad hire, and it turned out to be right.
John, listen, always felt that McAdoo was in over his head. And a lot of people are going to say now, what are you talking about? He's 11-5. Listen, last year showed what McAdoo, was as a head coach. And I felt he was in over his head in a lot of aspects of coaching, and it kind of showed. He lost the locker room. There's no doubt about that. He lost respect from the players. And once you lose respect in this league, you lose respect to the players, you're done. And that's what happened last year.
That's it. You're getting a bus ticket.
Absolutely.
You're gone. So we know the offense is going to look a lot differently. It's going to have a little more juice, a lot more juice, especially if everybody stays healthy. But the defense is kind of a mystery. And there's a lot of us trying to figure out, they're going to go to a 3-4, but who's going to play where? Will they be a hybrid? Will they go to a 4-3? Will they put in nickels and dimes? Who's going to play? I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of questions, especially about the defensive coordinator, James Betcher. Nobody knows a whole lot about him either. So what did you see today? I mean, who's running the defense out there? Who's the captain?
Well, Ogletree's running the defense. But Betcher, he has run a pretty good defense in Arizona the last few years.
Yes.
And he's an attack coach. What I saw today, it's like a hybrid 3-4. You got Vernon down in the 3-point stance one play. He's up at a 2-point the next play. He likes a lot of single high safety press looks. That's what Betcher likes, a lot of safety, a lot of blitzing coming off from the slot. I saw William Gate today. I saw a little bit of Grant Haley, the undrafted free agent.
Yeah, he's looking good, I hear.
I'm sorry?
Grant Haley is looking good from what I understand. I haven't seen it, but
he looked good in the mini camp. He looked right. He was played a little corner today. Besides the slot, he did get beat on a double move today by a veteran Latimer. But that's part of being a kid. It's part of being new. And if the kid looks good, Giants are pretty high on him. As far as Betcha, listen, you're going to see a lot of attack, blitz schemes out of this guy, especially. But listen, the Giants don't have a Chandler Jones, which he's used to over in Arizona, which he had no in Arizona. Giants don't have that on their roster, so he's going to have to come up with different schemes to get to the quarterback this year.
So what they're doing is they're going with almost like three nose tags. They don't really have a natural defensive end, so to speak, in the front three. It's sort of like three tackles, right? And then the defensive ends, Vernon and I think it was Lorenzo Carter might be the other guy on the other side, are playing the outside linebacker, no?
Yeah, it's going to be, Kareem Martin, his kid from Arizona.
Kareem Martin, right.
He's going to have, Kerry Wynn down there on the end with Tomlinson. You're going to have Thomas rotate with Snacks on the nose. And you're going to have Josh Morrow when he comes back after the 4 games. He's going to be playing over there.
And you got the B.J. Hill and you got R.J. McIntosh, two rookies.
Right. You got the draft picks, B.J. Hill, and you got R.J. McIntosh who's going to be rotating in that, Listen, gentlemen pointed out, he has pointed out before about how, the Eagles rotate 6, 7, 8 guys on their line, and that's something you're going to see with this defense, John.
And that's a great philosophy because when the fourth quarter comes, you still have a lot of tread on the tire there. Nobody's gassed. Yeah,
no doubt. That's going to be huge. If B.J. Hill and R.J. McIntosh are in this rotation, that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge for the last 5-7 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Like last year or the last 2 years, whenever they played, Vernon and JPP, they played 95 to 98% of the defensive snaps. By the fourth quarter, they're shot.
John,
so hopefully they won't have that.
And you cannot have that in this league anymore, John. And Vernon was playing. Not only was Vernon playing to be snapped, he was hurt on top of it.
Right. And JPP playing with one hand.
JPP's playing, obviously, with the hand issue. And, I think you're going to see a different Vernon this year, John. I really do. He's been hurt the last 2 years as a Giant, and I believe you're going to see, especially in the system, I think you're going to see a real different Olivier Vernon this year.
They don't plan on really putting his hand in the dirt at all, do they? They figure he's just going to rush off the edge if he does rush?
Well, looking at the OTA today, John, he had his hand in the dirt on some plays. It looks like he's going to be in the 3-point on some plays and in the 2-point on other plays. So. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean that's the way you've got to mix it up because you can't have a team coming to the line of scrimmage and offense knowing where everyone on the defense is going to be. Because the element of surprise has to come in some point. And, that's why some of these teams like Philadelphia, you don't know who you're going to be blocking from one play to the next. You don't know who's going to be positioned where. With the Giants last year, you knew where everybody was going to be.
Yeah,
makes it a lot easier.
This Betcha system is going to be a lot different than Spagnuolo. I felt that Steve kind of backed off, in certain situations, wasn't as aggressive as he should have been. Where I feel Betcha is going to be, aggressive from the get-go. It's going to be foot to the pedal and the whole deal with Betcha.
All right, I got one more for you. Who stood out today in practice?
Who stood out in practice?
That surprised you. I mean, probably a lot of guys stood out, but who surprised you?
I thought Sean Chandler stood out. I thought he played well.
Okay.
I thought Davis Webb played well. I thought Cody Latimer, as the third receiver over there, played pretty well today.
You're talking about Latimer was always hurt when he was with Denver, and he never really got any traction at all.
Well, listen, that and he was behind Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. He was behind two guys that get,
Right.
So he wasn't going to get many balls his way. I think Latimer's, he's a kid that could help us in. He's 6'2". He's not a small guy.
No, he's a decent sized receiver. Yeah, he's good on specials too. He's a good specials guy.
Yeah, I thought the undrafted free agent, Joel Davis, thought he had another good practice. I thought he had a lot. I thought he looked pretty good too. He's got good hands. He's standing out a little bit too. So
they're going to need depth. I mean, you need depth everywhere. So guys are going to have to step up, and we'll see. But when the bullets start to fly, that'll separate the men from the boys when the hitting starts, and that's in training camp.
Yeah, once training camp starts and they put the pads on and they start hitting, then, like you said, John, then we'll start seeing, what's going on here.
Then Will Hernandez will start taking over.
Will Hernandez had his first little tussle today. He went at it with BJ. He went at it with BJ Goodson a little bit. Hernandez is a serious kid. He's not out there, to fool around. He's nasty. And I expect to see many scuffles with him when the weather gets hot in August.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to bring that nastiness and physicality back to the Giants' offensive line, something they've been missing for years.
For years, John.
For years. We know that. We haven't had a guy like that. Richie Soybert was like that. Chris Snead. I mean, these are guys that, they went in there to fight. They went in there to fight you. Not just block you, fight you.
That's a great example because Richie Seibert there and Chris Snead were two nasty guys. They were two nasty guys at that guard position, and we have it right here with Hernandez. Hernandez is, he's going to be a sight to see. He's a nasty, big guard, and it's going to be much needed for this offensive line.
You're going to be back out there tomorrow?
No media access tomorrow. I'll be out.
There's no media access tomorrow. What are you going to do, Chris?
I'll probably watch film of the Jacksonville Jaguars, John. I'm starting to film.
You might be the first person to ever say that sentence.
Well, probably me and Phil Sims are the only ones, because I know he's studying them already.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably look at some Jaguar stuff, I like to look at other teams, and it's,
they're the first game on the schedule, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a head start.
Yeah. I'll be out there again next Tuesday. Another media access has an OTA for next Tuesday.
All right, Chris. Thanks. We'll talk soon. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Giants Guys podcast, dedicated to New York Giants football.